News Channel 5 investigates. The difference is in the details.
Tonight, as President Bush leads a pep rally for U.S. troops, a secret CIA report warns the situation in Iraq is not good and may very well get worse. A new turf for organized crime, the Internet. We'll tell you how you could become a victim and how to protect yourself. The birth control patch. She's one of millions to use it, and she suffered a stroke that left her paralyzed. Is or is not the birth control patch to blame? And they are real-life angels on earth. And you know what? Heaven just smiled on them.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. As another American soldier was killed in Iraq today, President Bush tried to rally support for his policies and rally American troops, visiting a U.S. base that has one of the largest casualty rates of the war. While the president was looking to muster support and boost morale, word came of a bleak new assessment of what's happening in Iraq. A previously secret CIA report says the situation is bad, could get worse, and not likely to get better anytime soon. CBS News Chief White House correspondent John Roberts begins our coverage.
It was a presidential pep talk at Camp Pendleton today. The commander-in-chief dropped in to thank Marines, he said, have helped pave the way for elections in Iraq.
A free Iraq will be a major victory in the war on terror. Free nations do not export terror.
But hanging over the president's sunny assessment, the hard fact that some 200 Marines from Camp Pendleton have died in Iraq, and a recent CIA memo that the situation there is deteriorating and may not improve for some time.
I think that memo has it about right. I mean, you can quibble with variations, but the bottom line is it's complicated and it's dangerous and it's going to be a long-term effort.
The memo from the outgoing CIA station chief in Baghdad often contrasts sharply with the White House view of Iraq. For example, it says Iraqi forces are not effective enough at dealing with an increasingly violent insurgency, and that the interim government has fallen short of projecting authority. Those frank assessments were challenged by the U.S. ambassador in Iraq, who believes efforts to battle the insurgency have been more successful than the CIA suggests.
I think we feel that the conditions will be sufficient and security conditions will be adequate for these elections to go forward.
The memo does cite progress in Iraq, saying Iraqi security forces are increasing in size and skill, and that the political process is unfolding despite increasing violence. For his part, President Bush gives the interim government high marks, and while acknowledging some problems, has similar praise for Iraqi troops.
These brave Iraqis are fighting for their freedom, and we are proud to stand by their side.
U.S. officials were quick to point out that the classified memo was not meant to challenge the president's view of Iraq. They say it was merely a truthful assessment that unless significant gains are made toward improving security, economic opportunity, and strengthening government, the bad news in Iraq will quickly get worse. Dan?
John Roberts at the White House, thanks. So how does all this stack up against evidence on the ground, in the streets of Baghdad, in the countryside, and in the camps of the U.S. military? A short time ago, I put the question to CBS's Kimberly Dozier in the Iraqi capital. Kimberly, have you been hearing these kind of complaints on the ground?
Well, U.S. officials have been very frank about their frustrations, especially with the Iraqi security forces. They say they're not all bad, but they're so hit and miss they can't be counted on. U.S. commanders have also often found that when they identify an Iraqi officer they think is performing poorly, they can't get the government to fire him because he's related to someone or he's paid someone off.
Are the Americans you're talking to optimistic?